With Mark Scheifele of the Winnipeg Jets, and lots to get to with you, whether it's the NHL, and I would imagine we're going to get into some type of Olympic conversation at some point in the next 15 minutes. But you were just telling the story before we went to air about skating in a very small town in Ontario with a rich history of things like the Donnelly family, and for NHL fans, the birthplace of Logan Couture of the San Jose Sharks. What's the story of skating in Lucan, Ontario?
Yeah, so Adam Oates was his family's from Toronto area,
Yep.
And then his wife's family is actually from Kitchener. So his wife's family were up in like Goderich area, like Grand Bend, for kind of like a little holiday. So they were there for the week, and then Ryan O'Reilly lives in Goderich. So and I was living in Kitchener, so I don't know how they found ice in Lucan, Ontario, but I was making.
What was the rink like?
Honestly, it was actually really nice. Like the outside looked like it was like a barn, but the inside actually had like kind of nice seating. Like it kind of looked like they kind of revamped it. The ice was actually fantastic.
That would be after Hockeyville, I think.
Right. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
So, it was actually the ice was great. It was only like I think it was about a 45-minute drive for me.
Yeah.
Kind of all down a bunch of back roads driving through the country. So, kind of a funny place to skate, but had some good skates with O'Reilly and Oatsy, and had breakfast at this really weird spot with them, and then Joey Hishon came the one day. We all went out for breakfast with him, and then O'Reilly's dad came too. So nice. Weird story, but a good week of skating.
I'm betting Adam didn't pay for breakfast.
He did, actually.
He did?
Oatsy paid for breakfast.
This is the biggest upset ever.
I know. He, once in a while you get it. You actually, I can't say he's paid for a good amount of dinners for me. I think I've usually taken the really big ones, but he's taken care of a lot of dinners for me. So I can't give him any flack for it, because every time I pull out my wallet, he does the fake cough and pretends there's dust coming out of it, and I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" So
he's got the onion wallet. Every time he opens it, he cries. I know that all too well. What is the most, maybe strangest is not the right word, but I'm going to use it anyway. What's the strangest place you've ever played? I mean, you've played in so many rinks, Mark. Is there one that comes to mind? Like, wow, how did I end up here?
I think one was probably in Yaroslavl. We were there for this like Summit Series type, like it was a Canada-Russia series. It was the summer of my second World Junior year. And we did this like Canada-Russia series.
Yep.
We played 4 games, or I don't know how many games we played in Russia. And then we played games in Halifax. And we were in Yaroslavl. And I remember there was one meal where they actually served like fish heads to us. And we were in this like really, really weird hotel. It was actually a nice hotel, but it was a really weird spot, and it was really close to the rink that we were playing at. And there was a McDonald's close, like right beside. And this McDonald's must have been the busiest place in all of Yaroslavl, because like every night it was just bumping, like line out the door. Yeah. And the one day there was fish heads, and our coach was Steve Spott, and he's like, "Guys, you guys aren't eating this. Go to McDonald's, enjoy yourselves tonight." So we have like 23 guys walk over to McDonald's, and obviously none of us speak Russian. So we have like the menu, and we're like
pointing
it. Like it was pretty funny. So that's probably one of the strangest spots.
We were just with Pierre-Luc Dubois, and I don't know how much you've had a chance to chat with him this offseason, but he looks and sounds like a new man. He went through a real roller coaster of a season last year. Have you talked to him much this offseason? Because he just appears to be in a much better headspace.
Yeah, I've talked to him a little bit, and he says he feels great. I know our strength coach went to Montreal to see him, and he came back and said how in great shape Doobie looks, and he's been skating a lot. Actually, I saw Doobie's dad on the golf course the other day in Winnipeg, and we were just talking, and I asked how his summer was, and how much you've seen him or how much you've talked to him, and he was like, he's actually skated the most he's ever skated in a summer. So I've only talked to him a little bit, but from what he said, he feels great. I'm sure he's ready for a regular season. Not like last year. Like I couldn't imagine, what he went through all of a sudden, throughout the summer, to start the year. And then all of a sudden, you quarantine, the whole quarantine thing, mid-season sounds awful. Getting back into shape, he got hurt, getting back into shape, all that stuff. So I'm sure he's looking forward to, getting to Winnipeg and settling in and getting to skate and work out and get ready before camp. So, I know we're all excited. I know I'm excited to see him this year. He's a fantastic player, and he went through a lot of adversity, last season, and I think from the sounds of it, and from from when I've talked to him, he sounds like he's ready for a good season. So I think that adversity, when you take that the right way, and you work hard, only good things happen. So I'm looking forward to see, what he does this year.
Will you miss the Canadian division? That's a no.
I think everyone's so excited to play every team again. I think that's what it is. I love playing. I would love to play Canadian teams a little more, because we only get to, I love coming to Toronto. I get to go out for dinner with my parents. I get to see friends. I get to, they get to come to the game, all that stuff. But I'm definitely excited to, go down to the States a little bit. The Central, and the crazy thing is now we haven't seen players or teams in so long. It feels like forever ago that we played against the Colorado Avalanche and Nate McKinnon, and you're like, that team's changed so much. I think even when we only played Cale Makar twice. So it's like now all of a sudden we got to go back and play this guy, this 2-year older Makar, when we could have had him, in a rookie season more. So
they're both still really good. They're both really excellent.
They definitely are. I'm excited to play every team. I think that's the biggest thing, and obviously getting to travel around a little more, and I'm very excited for that.
Last year was challenging for everybody. I mean, COVID has made everybody's life challenging, to be generous. And there were a lot of times last year where I said, I can only imagine what it's like being on a hockey team and going through this. And there were times, every player goes through it, every team does, where the nerves felt really close to the skin. Guys would snap quickly, totally understandable. We're all going through it. When you look back at last season, you ever say to yourself, whew, maybe I should have taken it back a little bit here, but given the circumstances, it's understandable. How do you look at last year?
I think you just look at it as a learning lesson. Everyone has never gone through this. Yeah. We're an entire world is going through something that they've never gone through before. We're all learning. We're all coping. We're all doing. We're all figuring out a whole lot of things. Kind of minute by minute. We really don't know what to expect. And kind of the way I looked at it last year was we were very lucky to be able to play hockey. We were so lucky to be able to play hockey and do our jobs. And and the way I looked at it, I was hoping that it gave hockey fans a little bit of reprieve from a very stressful time, getting to watch hockey. That's kind of the way I looked at it. We got to play hockey. We got to reprieve people to be able to watch hockey and just get enthralled in a game and get excited about a game and watch their favorite team and watch a sport that they love, and get out of their head, because this past year and a half has been probably the most anxious time for a lot of people. Everything that people that are going through, a lot of alone time, a lot of time not getting to see your family. If you have older relatives, you weren't able to see them. Yep. So, it's a tough time, and I think it's something we're all going to learn from. I think it's something that we're all going to be better off from. Mm-hmm. But it was definitely there was a lot of tough days for a lot of people last year, and I think when you have your health, when you have your loved ones that are all healthy and happy, all you can do is be thankful, and that's kind of the way I looked at this last year and a half.
You talked about Pierre-Luc going through his adversity. I don't check my Instagram DMs, but at some point during the summer I did. And Mark, I wanted to tell you, I had some DMs from people who knew you. And they said that they were very upset for you because, they felt that, obviously there was a penalty that had to be paid, but they felt that what you went through after the suspension was too much. And they were very concerned for you and, just how you, the public nature of it and some of the criticism you took. Just how do you feel right now after everything and the way the season ended?
Honestly, I feel great. I'm a pretty positive person. I'm very lucky. I have, some pretty amazing parents. I have an amazing girlfriend, amazing dog, brother and sister, everything. I honestly, I'm very lucky to have the people that I have around me, because it was, there were some tough tough days, some tough thoughts going through my mind, but I look at that as, that's, what we do is a privilege. You have the responsibility to take, public criticism. That's kind of the name of the game. You're going to deal with it. And, my parents have, taught me how to cope, how to understand that. And, my parents, they got bullied, they got calls, they got threats, all that stuff. But, they don't deserve that. That's something that I think is totally across the line. I can handle that criticism. I can handle that. That's something that I, when you sign an NHL contract and you play in front of millions of people, you have to take that responsibility. And I look at that as something that it's a learning lesson. It's something that I signed up for, and that's a privilege that I have, to be an NHL hockey player and be in the public eye. But, my parents don't, my family doesn't, but, I got through it. I kind of had my last remarks at the end of the season, and, I went by my summer, kind of the way that I always do, is trying to become a better hockey player, a better person, a better, all around human being. And, I worked on my game. I got in the gym. I golfed a lot. I got to see my friends. I got to see my family. I got to enjoy my summer, and, things started to open up a little bit, which was obviously very nice. And, my thought the whole summer was just become a better hockey player for the Winnipeg Jets, for my teammates, for my line mates, for myself. And, I had a great summer of doing that. I put in a lot of hard work, and, then we get the news about the NHL players going to the Olympics. So, I have a lot of things to be thankful about. So to be honest, I'm in a great place, and, that's a lot of thanks to my friends, to my family, and my loved ones. So, I'm very lucky to have them.
Okay, so you opened a door there. So Olympics.
Who will your line mates be?
How much? Because you talk about becoming a better person, becoming a better player, becoming a better Winnipeg Jet, etc. I would have to imagine somewhere in the back of your head, you have to be thinking about the Olympics, no?
Oh, it's been in my mind for probably, the last year and a half, I would say, ever since there were talks about it. And, obviously the news, a few days ago were, very, very positive. And, that's been in my mind all summer. That's been obviously my first and main focus is the Winnipeg Jets, but, to have that in the back of your mind, gives you that much more motivation, that much more, a little more energy every single day to leave a little more, in the gym, leave a little more on the rink. So I was really happy with that news. And, I'm going to be working every single day to make that team.
Do you have a specific Olympic hockey memory? You would have been 9 or 10 for Salt Lake, I want to say. And, Sochi, you were playing in the NHL. Is there one Olympic moment for you where you said, man, I'd love to be part of that. I'd love that to be me?
I think as a kid, watching, Steve Yzerman was my favorite player. Obviously, his accolades, with the Canadian Olympic team.
Yeah.
I was talking about in another interview about how, centermen, seem to, there's a lot of centermen on Canadian Olympic teams usually. And
just put centermen on there, skill adapts.
So I brought up, Steve Yzerman, Joe Sakic playing on the same line. Then you got, Bergeron and Crosby playing on the same line. So, you have all of that. So, I would say I'm obviously, you guys know me. I love watching hockey, so I have lots of memories of that. But I'd say, two biggest memories are probably, that Mario Lemieux
fake.
That one was pretty special. And then, obviously the Crosby golden goal. I don't think many things beat that. So, obviously, that is it's Stanley Cup, winning a Stanley Cup and going to the Olympics and winning a gold medal, and those are probably the two on every single hockey player's, not even just NHL hockey players, every kid growing up, that those are the two things at the very top of the dream board, and it's definitely on mine.
Wish you all the best, whether it's with the Winnipeg Jets or Team Canada. Thanks so much, and best of luck this season.
See you
be a
in
big
Beijing.
I hope so.